Look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Gotta make sure I get them all. What do you do when you're driving down a dark, sketchy road in the middle of nowhere, and you are so tired even the AC or a full blast radio or even the windows down can't keep you awake? The best answer is not pulling over and taking a nap. The best answer is to consume caffeine. According to the Caffeine Informer, caffeine is better than sleep when it comes to you needing to be alert and focused, especially while driving. From my own personal experience, and I'm sure most of you can relate, is that you can have the AC on full blast, the windows down even when it's freezing outside, and that's still not enough to keep you awake. I have tried pulling over and taking a nap, but as soon as I wake, I'm more groggy and tired than I was before. But the minute you have a caffeinated beverage, you feel alert and focused and ready to go right back at it without any breaks. Today I'd like to talk to you about the need for caffeine, why we should use caffeine, how you can consume it responsibly, and the health benefits that come with consuming caffeine. Besides drinking caffeine to stay alert and focused, especially in the instance that I described earlier, I will talk about why we need caffeine in our diets. First off, caffeine, according to Webster, is defined as a substance that is found especially in coffee and tea that makes you feel more awake and alert. According to Carrie Ruxton, freelance dietitian and author of an article titled Health Aspects of Caffeine, Benefits and Risks, she discusses why we need caffeine in our diets. She states that it is sensible to consume caffeinated beverages within certain limits to deliver benefits to cognitive function and heart health without compromising other areas of health. We see that it is essential to consume caffeine just by reading what Ruxton says. People all over the world need to have some caffeine in their diets, and they need our help recognizing that, because more often than not, their perceptions are diluted when it comes to caffeine, and most think it's terrible to consume, and there are no health benefits. Next, we will see why caffeine is not as bad as most people make it out to be, and what you can do to drink responsibly, and no, I'm not talking about alcohol. As we talked about earlier, you need to consume caffeine, reasonably that is, and don't overdo it. According to Livestrong.com, a safe range for daily caffeine intake for the normal typical adult is between 250 and 300 milligrams per day. That is equivalent to about 2 to 4 cups of coffee. Pregnant women can safely consume caffeine as well, but on a much lower scale. It's about 150 to 250 milligrams per day. Teenagers are the population that really needs to be addressed and be extremely responsible in using caffeine. According to Kids Health, their daily limit is probably around less than 100 milligrams of caffeine per day. As we can see, we do need to consume caffeine responsibly and don't overconsume. You will later see the health benefits of consuming caffeine, and these health benefits can be just tossed out the window if you don't consume responsibly. I have faith in all of you guys that you can rake in the rewards and health benefits of consuming caffeine as long as you do it reasonably and don't overdo it. Finally, now that we know how to consume caffeine responsibly, I will enlighten you on the last most important thing that can persuade you to drink caffeine and not to eliminate it from your diet. According to the Caffeine Informer, there are more than 15 plus health benefits that caffeine can provide for the human body. In countries such as Japan, studies have found and shown that caffeine increases memory. I mean, who wouldn't like this benefit? Is like all of you are pretty much your students, and your grades will simply increase just from drinking caffeine reasonably. I mean, who wouldn't want that, right? Hopefully I get a better grade on the speech just because I drank a Mountain Dew before. Caffeine also helps ward off Alzheimer's disease. It also aids in depressing the effects of depression. Just lessens it, doesn't make it as severe. It can also reduce the risk of stroke and several types of cancer. And lastly, coffee or caffeine can actually decrease the risk for developing type 2 diabetes, which is kind of an epidemic right now in our society. Everyone's becoming diabetic and there's not a cure yet. So drink caffeine so you don't have to deal with that. Now that we understand why we need caffeine in our diets, how to use it responsibly, and the health benefits that come from consuming caffeine, we see that more people like you need to start consuming or continue to consume on a responsible basis. Because regardless of what people say, caffeine is not harmless to your health. There are a lot of people who simply are against caffeine and think it's completely harmful, including people who currently use it. I myself am guilty of that. I use caffeine regularly, but have always thought it was bad, and I felt guilty about the decision to keep it in my diet. But now, after reading and studying up on this topic, I know it's more beneficial than I originally thought. I'm trying to persuade you to either start consuming caffeine or continue consuming caffeine and use it responsibly, knowing that you're contributing to a better health. So start drinking caffeine, people. It's good for you.